But for real though, like the reality of it is that the average life cycle of a player in this game is like 3 to 5 years. Like that's as long as they anticipate retention. So like players that stick out around beyond that, you're an oddity, but you're not the focus of their game. Their game is all about getting people in to that early game experience, kind of like what Raid does. And so it's like, I get it, folks. We're not happy, but are you hungry now? I mean, we'll probably be shorter today, so we'll probably take an hour and a half. We can do it then. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I tell you what, I feel like the GAC meta is going to be really boring after this week. Yeah. Well, because there's going to be, it's basically you're going to take mercenaries to kill pirates, because if you take Balin with Han Solo, you just stun Vayne and then wreck face from there. And so you do that. You take the Stranger onto offense to go kill whatever Ray team that they set with usually with Ezra, and then after that you just overkill the rest of the board. Like there's two good defensive GLs right now, and they both have some pretty easy counters, but then everything else you can put on defense is pretty much iterations of one tapping. At least for me, it's gonna be boring. I should probably pull up the get this over with. Oh, that was live. I heard myself.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I forgot to mute properly. Good afternoon, evening, morning. Happy Hanukkah. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. How are we? Welcome to Tribe Talks, another podcast from myself and Kyrotech, where we talk all things maybe Galaxy of Heroes. I just realised we still got music playing as well. I'm still got hangover brain, I think, Karth. I think I still got hangover brain.
I'm just trying to listen to myself 4 different times, everything pulled up at the same time. So I've got you in the Discord channel, and then I got YouTube and Twitch all playing at the same time. And I was like, I need to figure out how to mute things faster.
Mute everything, quick. Just mute it all. Mute it all. Yeah. How's shit, Karth? You good?
Shit's good. Yeah, we're out there crushing the GAC, I guess. Mm-hmm. So sort of, kind of crushing. I don't know. I feel like I'm winning by happenstance more than skill or actual effort.
Yeah. I did win a match and then I lost another one, so I guess it's swings and roundabouts. But yeah, life is good. We've had literally some data mines this week, Karth. Some data mines.
Yeah, only a couple. Nothing I'm really worried about, to be honest with you. It seems like a lot of ho-hum. No worries. Just
hey, man, they want to give the game a fresh lick of paint.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I'm that's like most everything that's coming from the data mines is like UI improvements, visual improvements, which I mean, the game is in desperate need of. It's well past 10 years old, and so it's time we revisit some of those things and we revamp it a little bit, and I'm fine with it. It's just one of those things where it's like, ooh, it's shiny. It's like, yeah, but it's still the same thing. Just
the complaints you have with the game are still going to be there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm all for the rampant speculation of things that could go on and could be happening in the future, and I'm all for it, to be real. But it's at the same time, it's like I don't want to get too excited, because every time we get like really, really like this is gonna for sure happen, and it's like
it doesn't.
or it's like 6 months later it finally happens, or in some cases 6 years later.
Hey man, we got those fleet loadouts eventually. They arrived.
Listen, Cobb Vanth only took what 4 years from his original theatrical release to get to the game.
Something like that, right? I mean,
Something like
we thought
that,
he was
yeah.
going to be with the Crate Dragon raid and stuff like that, but no, it turns out he's not, unless they come back to, Crate Dragon raid is the next raid, which was kind of where I was theorizing things are going, because, we could use Cobb Vanth there for fun, for shits and giggles.
Are you not live on YouTube?
I should be. I've clicked the button to stream live to YouTube. I think it's doing that stupid fucking thing where it's unlisted. Yeah, it's doing that stupid fucking thing where it's unlisted. It's like, why stream unlisted? Stupid.
I was like,
there we go. Fixed it.
I don't see it yet.
Apologies. Sincerest apple bogeys.
Yeah, I was like, I know I should have gotten the ping when it showed up, but it just did not want to do the thing.
It just doesn't like you very much, that's all.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Google is mad at me that I don't give them any money anymore, so.
Why do you not give Google any money? Is it because the web store exists?
The web store.
Yeah. It's funny, actually. Like, the coaxium heist, is it? Is it the coaxium heist?
Yeah.
That is just so much better than a 5% discount. It's not even close to how much better that is. It's loads better.
Well, especially if you're a consistent spender, if you're putting at least $100 down in this game on a monthly basis, the 3 or 4 crystal pulls you get out of that is usually a good boost in whatever you're doing on top of it.
Yeah.
But then if you ever do like the big spending, like the mega vaults for $200 or the Relic 10 packs or whatever else, like you get into that kind of stuff, and then like the crystals you net by happenstance is like a vault or 2 worth of extra crystals.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that part whenever, because I know like in a week from now, I'm easily getting into 4 figures on spending.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of like energy crystals. I mean, I know you don't really care about Omicrons, but you'd get a couple of Omicrons there as well, just thrown in.
Yeah, I know. It's like whenever he's like, here, have Zetas with this pack. I'm like, can I not?
Can I refund them?
You Zetas to lower the price.
Yeah. Speaking of Zetas, this update that's going live, have you seen the Omega battles now at the tier 3?
Battles.
They reward 3 Zetas.
Yeah,
3.
Yeah, I saw that. And then 10 Omegas.
Cool. Yeah.
10 Omegas.
That's so
let's
good.
not overlook how good that part is, because
Yeah.
I remember playing the early game and just being at like buying dumb packs for the sake of getting tier 3 ability mats and Omega mats. And like they're gonna massively kind of push that out, which is good because that's like the one thing they don't just give you anywhere, and it's about damn time they improved it. I was just thinking to myself like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, man, the Omega events really need an overhaul.
They really
what
do.
They do.
Yeah.
Now, if we could revisit the bounty hunter events, that would also be nice.
What the? Do you mean the Galactic Bounties one, or do you mean the credit heist?
No. Well, the credit heist is whatever now because they reduced the cost of credits.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And if you haven't pulled open the web store recently, not the web store, sorry, the shipment store in is it the guild activity page? Yeah, the Mark 1 tokens. They put an increased bundle for credits, so now you can buy 5 million for 3,000.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Mark 1s.
That's just a time saver.
Yeah, it's a huge time saver on farming credits. And so it's like, if your Mark 1s aren't going to gear, you basically can just power through your credit stability without really having to fuss with it.
Yeah.
And you can, I think that the big bundle, the 5 million, is there every time. So
that's very handy. It's a good quality of life fix.
Yeah, the one that circulates is the one to the right of it, and it's either 1 million credits or it's the I think it's the max of the shipbuilding materials.
Yeah, it's like 250k shipbuilding, and
something like that. Yeah,
I think occasionally it actually has training droids as well, which is like, all right, okay then.
I suppose.
Yeah, I mean it takes all sorts, I guess. You know, some people may well need those. I remember my free to play out account, like. There was a time when you're like, oh, I don't have any training droids. I can't level. I have the credits, but I don't have the training droids to actually make anything work here. So yeah, I suppose it does come into play a little bit there. But yeah, it's a funny old world. It is good that CG are taking a look and updating old things. It seems a bit weird. They're updating a load of UI-based stuff. Looks like they're like compiling all of the cantina. So like the mod battles and the fleet battles are going into campaigns now. And it sounds like we might have some of the guild-based stuff move in potentially into the arena table. So territory war might be featured in the arena table. And we're getting like new tags and stuff for when you join a guild and when you look at a guild and when you sign up for TW. Like all of that's getting an overhaul, the way it's displayed. So there's quite a lot of licks of paint, I guess, is what's happening. So I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it's going to look pretty and
maybe
be good.
Breathe some new life into some of these older PvP modes, getting a little bit of TLC. I just don't know what they're really going to change about it. Because I mean, a large reason why TW has lost its luster is because the rewards are just no longer worth the effort that they take to get them. It's easy to get the arrows and the droid brains now with the scrap, and it's easier to do the to not care about Datacrons at all than it is to try to farm the meager amount of reroll materials out of TW.
Yeah.
If you really care about Datacrons, you're going to probably be spending the crystals on the pack that's in the store for the first week of every set. Than you are, you're going to be worried about doing anything different. And so, I don't know what they tweak on that, because I really don't want like Relic 11 rewards to be there, because that's what I do like about Relic 10 is that it's a little bit more accessible, and I use the word lightly on more accessible. It's just that it was nice to not be so completely gated to a guild event.
Sure.
I get that TW pushed a lot of guilds to strive for the droid brains, but I like that it's a little bit more individual based, so that I can, if I want to engage with it, I can at a higher pace, not just kind of be like, well, I need to go join a super sweaty TW guild that wins all the time, or a super non-serious guild that sandbags like a mofo. That
I know a couple of those.
yeah. I feel like I was in one of those this last go around, because we had like 33 signups and we went against a guild. I don't even cleared the front wall, but like
it's 33 signups. Wow, yeah, that is proper sandbag, isn't it?
Yeah, they the opposing guild I think the first wall, most of the teams had Datacrons, and then after that first wall, like there was hardly. It was like half walls.
You're just beating up kids, mate. That's.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty bad. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just I'm at the point now where it's just like I don't understand the point of TW in the current game cycle. And I wouldn't be sad to see it go. That was the whole strive of it when Relic 9 was released, was to be in a guild that won a lot, so that you could get as many droid brains as you could possibly get your hands on for free, because otherwise it was way harder.
It was a different day and age, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, it's quite relaxing that you don't really have to worry too much about TW, especially if you are sandbagging. It's like you don't have to worry about anything, right? It's just like, just taking the dog for the walk, type thing. It's ridiculously easy. But on the other hand, like, I do miss that excitement of PvP, right? Of guild-based PvP, where it's like, this is a really good TW we've got coming up. I haven't had that feeling in so long. Partly because most people just don't care anymore, right? Or care very little, or the number of people that care has drastically dwindled. So that if you're looking for any sort of fight,
you've got like maybe 10 guilds that actually really, really care. But I mean, it's part of it is that PvP stagnated for so long with no relic improvements or no real progression. the board is just now so equalized that it's hard to theory craft appropriately, because it's like, well, maybe the first time you see a cron set, you might get something creative with it that might cause some problems because nobody knows how to deal with it. But then after that, it's like, okay, well, we figured it out. And so, I mean, that's kind of like the one small, minuscule advantage of the faster rotation of Datacrons is that, you have a little bit more faster mix up to the PvP. Not that people are a big fan of that, but I can see how that's slightly beneficial to more competitive guilds, because there's more things to try and test when you're going through.
Yeah.
But that being beside the point, is just, it's just, what do you do when there's just not a lot of change quickly or dynamically in any capacity? It's just like, guess we're doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 3 months anyways. Hope we don't lose an extra character or two, or we bleed enough banners that we win by 5 or whatever. I mean, there's just a lot of it now just becomes so nitpicky that it's a lot more stress than the reward and the feeling of winning nets you.
Sure.
So it's like, anything else.
Yeah. And just like you said as well, it ties back so heavily to the rewards just not being touched and being outdated, like drastically. Rewards being drastically outdated, the brackets and the matchmaking system just being ridiculous. It hasn't grown with the times.
The fact that we still have the cap being 330.
Oh, 380, not 330.
Yeah, the last bracket's 380 is ludicrous to me. I feel at a certain junction they should have scaled that up to at least into like the 500s or 600s, because it's like, I get that it's a double-edged sword too, right? You want to make sure there's enough competitive guilds or enough guilds signing up beyond that bracket to make the top end not keep the same 5 people, basically just creating your own narrowed gauntlet. I get that part of it, but at the same time, then it would drive guilds to actually, hey, we take TW seriously, and we actually have to try with 45 to 50 people versus, hey, we had 20 members down, we still qualified for top tier rewards. We went and punched a bunch of kindergartners for 24 hours and walked away with the same rewards as the guilds that went sweaty, try hard, and spent hours theory crafting their defense and hours planning the assault and coordinating with 49 other members of their guild. It's like, and we still walked away with the same thing. And so that's kind of where I'm just like,
the juice not being worth the squeeze.
The drive's just not there, and they really need to address that to some capacity. I mean, tweak the brackets, tweak the rewards, at least put a little bit more muster on giving a care. And we can eventually some point revisit the game mode itself. But, if you created 5 more brackets and doubled the rewards in the top tier, I don't know how you're going to really make the economy worse for it. It's like, oh my God, 10 droid brains. What will I ever do with 10 droid brains? So I don't know, especially since the number one issue with engaging with higher relics is access to the relic 8 and 9 materials. Arrows, impulse, droid brains, and Gerda keypads are the choke point for a lot of people going to R10. And it's just like, well, why aren't more people R10ing? I'm like, well, because you need so many things to get there. It's like, I'd rather go to R9 on a character before I go to R10 on a random.
It's all the mats, but also the goddamn signal data is just it's crippling. It's crippling. So it's like, because I mean, I think I'm still sat on like 7 or 8 R10s, and I'm just like, I don't want to spend it. I want to save it so I can get Cassian up to Relic 10 when this era ends, and then I want to save the rest of my materials so I can R9 the marquees and do the assault the era battle. I'm like, I don't feel like I can do any R10s. I'm like, I feel like as soon as I do that, I'm gonna have no materials, and then I'll be fucked.
Every week I have to log into Hot Utils and check the gear calculator.
Yeah,
because I have all the characters where I want them for at the end of the year, and just make sure that if I make a relic improvement, does that eat what I already have left? Because I need to make sure that I've got enough to do the thing. Because it's crazy to do everybody to R9 minimum, right? You're talking like almost 1,400 tier 3 seasonal data.
Yeah, it's just
like
rough. It's so hard.
You're like, you think 1,400 is a good number, and then you're like, oh god, it's not even close to what I need to do anything in excess of these 7 units that I'm trying to bring up. And so, I'm just trying to kind of like think. I have to like plan it out and go, okay, you can't go below 400 arrow magnifiers because you'll lose all your stuff that you need for this event. It's like, man, look at all these red pips I can't press. Damn it.
Gosh, I want to upgrade it. God, come on. Yeah. And obviously that perspective that we're throwing out there is kind of like endgame whaley territory.
Yeah.
When you scale it back to the average player, the thought of doing R10s or an R10 that you want to do, it's absurd. It's like, you'll do one a quarter maybe, if you're lucky, and then you can
do one every 6 months. Like,
and you can kiss it goodbye for the rest of it.
Yeah, if you're not in in the top 100 guilds, you're really just not going to be giving a care about them because it's just important to you. It's like I am tempted. I'm retiring, not retiring. I am moving my alt to somebody else's hands after this era is over. Yeah. And so I am tempted to start a new alt at, level
Kyrotech, come on.
No.
Why did you give this one up in the first place?
Oh, because I have to try. Well, I don't have to try. I'm too competitive not to try.
Okay.
So setting one away, well, and then to the spending. I get it. I know I'm a victim of my own stupidity. But part of me just wants to be like, what happens if I got a Relic 10 gas just sitting on the front wall of a zone?
Yeah.
Just kind of jokes on some of it. Wants to see how what's whaling like at the early game of this game, because they just have so many incentives to just keep swiping that card.
Yep.
They got light side bundles that are only available to people who are under a certain threshold, and I kind of want to see what you can kind of do and how quickly you can kind of get. If you're spending, $300 a month, how quickly can you get to 10 million GP? And so
I bet it's ridiculously, disgustingly fast.
It is, especially if you start the account right at May the 4th. I guarantee you that you could be 8 million GP within 2 weeks, because they just have so many packs. I mean, just so many packs.
And you can immediately go in and buy the Slacker and the Ray pack, right? Get yourself GL'd up. Well, you won't be GL'd up, but you'll be working towards 2 GLs immediately. You won't have Ben and Cat.
You can get the Negotiator, you can get the Malevolence, you can get the good units for the Empire, you can get the Conquest units out. There are just so many things that you could just kind of vomit all over. Granted, you would be just dying for Zetas and Omicrons, but
I don't even want to think about your mods.
Good mods.
you won't even have the speed arrows for those teams.
I know, but that's the thing, though, is at that junction, you don't you're winning by the relic weight of your roster, not really by anything else. But then all of that point, I would be interested to see how it plays out. Then my brain just goes, but it's a lot of money to spend to go 27-0 in GAC. It's I could just buy the crystals and call it days.
You have to take that old adage of saying, if I set this money on fire, would I be okay with it? Because that's what you're doing. That's
oh yeah. it would just humor me to see that, because I mean that was kind of the thing is I miss the old legendary events and things like that came in this game.
Mhm.
I miss how just them coming around, not being available all the time, and things of that nature. It's just kind of like I miss some of those things.
And that's the other thing as well. Sorry to jump in there, but all the journey tokens, all the lightspeed journeys are going to be available. So you'll be able to get so many teams.
Yeah, Inquisitors, Mandalorians, Bo-Katan, like just so many things just like leveled up and done. But then on top of that, you've got all the Lightspeed bundle packs that are coming out for May the 4th. So you can get your ships set up really quick. You can get C, you can get Jamel, you can get Slacker, you can get just like the deluge of things you could have like on a 1 month old account is pretty ludicrous. And like it is just morbid curiosity that wants to like for me to see how that would play out. But I know for the most part it would be like, well, we spent like $5,000 to like $8,000.
That would make a very interesting video, I would say. That would make a very interesting video.
Yeah, I don't think it'd make the money back.
I can guarantee you it won't.
Yeah, the mini series on it might be able to recover a couple of grand.
It depends how successful it is. The problem is with the series is every subsequent video does worse than the one before it. That's just kind of how it goes. Because if you missed like the first video, you're not going to start the second, and oftentimes you don't go back. So it's like, when somebody sees a video come up, it's like part 6. They're like, fuck that, I'm not watching that. I haven't seen part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I see, I know what you mean.
It would be interesting to see, but I just at the same time, it's like I know you just throw all the money on fire, and then it'd be like, well, I don't really want to play this one either.
So
anyways, I mean, I don't mind. I would love to see it, but I just don't know if I want to keep it up, because like that's the biggest thing is like the alt I've been playing for like 2-3 years now. It was like a 14 million GP account with like sub 50 plus 25 speed mods when I got it.
Yeah, that's
I
low.
think I'm now north of 170. I think I'm encroaching close to 200 now.
Yeah, so like better than my main account.
Yeah, but it took a lot of work to get there, and I'm just thinking about like it's not going to be better on a brand new account. Like I know that I can start farming mods day one and I'll be better about it, but like oh my god, like that still sounds so taxing.
Yeah.
It's like all this stuff I have to do again. I don't like praying to RNGesus that much. Like,
And then you'll do some mod slicings, and you'll luck your way into a 29 speed secondary, and you'll just be annoyed. You'll just be like, God damn it, why is it on this burner? Fucking plastic melting black hole of an account. I actually got a 28 the other day. I was quite happy with that. I was like, woohoo! Feels like it's been ages since I've had a 28.
Yeah, I just got I just had another 29 on my main account.
Sexy.
Last week or something, but like on a really odd primary. I know, like the one
defense primary arrow.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was just can't even remember what it was now. I have to go back and look. It was just like on a set I don't use, like a piece I don't use very often. So maybe it was like an arrow that was like health or something. I don't remember. Not bad. It's a good one to have. It's just there's only a few number of tunes that want to use like Lord Vader wants a protection arrow with high speed secondary versus a speed primary with high protection secondaries kind of thing. Like there's just a small handful of units that like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I wish I had a little bit better luck in modding lately. I mean, to be fair, it's because I've tapered all my mod I go long waits now between getting a good mod, but that's the price of unlocking journey guide units now. it's have shit mods, and I almost like just don't care. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to have shit mods. It's fine.
Yeah, you have. I mean, you have to be doing like the 3-a-day minimum on your materials, and then get enough up, and then farm some mods. But realistically, I'll do 50s when it's Conquest, and then the 100s when it's not. But I really got to remind myself that I shouldn't spend a Coco Rockstar, because I've been going through them, going through crystals on my main account just on dumb shit, trying to get like a reroll or whatever, and just like, I really should behave myself better. Just because I know
just going a little too ham
on the on May the 4th. It's like I don't need to spend a lot leading up to May the 4th as well. Like I could behave myself a little bit better. But anyways, it's just kind of funny to see some of the stuff. So
yeah, I can't say I've been going crazy on the spending of crystals, just because I've been trying to hold everything together for just refreshing for marquees and stuff like that, because that's the only way I'm getting them right. It's not the only way. I can spend the money, but I just choose not to.
You did all of your era leveling for free to play up until Partagaz, right?
Yeah. So Partagaz is the only marquee this time that I spent any money on. Like no, that's not true. That's not true at all. Ignore me.
No.
Partagaz is the only one that I bought the $100 pack. The others I bought the $30 pack. But I bought used crystal packs for the rest of it, and I didn't level early until Partagaz came out, and then I took people from like 65 up to 85, because I was like, well, I think I did. If I had the currency to do it, I would take people to 85, because I was like, there's no reason to wait, and it'll give me a better performance inside the Colosseum. So since Partagaz, I've pretty much always been in the top 10, which is nice. It's not a big deal, but the way I look at it is, I'll only be spending that money later anyway. I'm not spending any more money than what I would have anyway, so I might as well benefit from it, you know?
That's what I did on the alt. I think I went to like early 30s right at the rip, and then floated there until Partagaz, and then when I unlocked Cassie, and then I started pushing everyone up to the 80s, and then after that I was just like, well, let's just get everything. We're going to spend it anyways to unlock it 7 stars, so we'll just get it done.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like, that's just kind of the way to go if you're not worried about R10 mats. But like, again, this is what comes up every single time. It's like, well, yeah, R10 mats are great right up until it's like, but there's no point. Like at our level, a single R10 does not make or break most of your squad's performances. There are certain things that become slightly challenging or slightly easier with higher relics, but it's not like it's the end of the world. You really got to let Delta start kicking in, which is not going to happen until we get like 2-3 more relic levels in the game, where it's like, okay, now you either have to have your roster at relic 8 plus to counter what I've got at higher relics, or you're just going to have to deal with the not winning very often, because relic Delta is going to add the weight back onto to the scale. But we'll see.
Still thinking we'll be seeing Relic 11 sooner rather than later.
Oh, so I would be surprised if it's not part of May the 4th's announcement. If it's not, I would be surprised that we get through summer without it, because they really do need to bring that up. I don't love saying those things, but at the same time, it's like,
you're not saying you want it. You just think that's where it's probably leading.
Well, that's the only thing for endgame players to do is further progression. And so if there's no progression, there's nothing else to do. And it's like, they were pretty liberal with our Relic 10 access, via packs, at least, I want to say. It wasn't the hardest thing to get to at the end game, especially if you're willing to spend. I'm past 30 R10s right now. So it's not like it's been nearly as challenging. I mean, I've done more R10s in the last, since it's been released than I did in the first 2 years of Relic 9 being in the game. So
But that's because they've had those juicy packs for you, Kath.
They have. Well, that and my appetite for spending on them was a bit higher on Relic 10 than it was on Relic 9. But the other thing, too, is that there was just... Relic 10 does make a meaningful improvement on characters. Not as much as we'd want on, like, attackers. Attackers are still getting shafted on it. But attackers or units that enjoy the crit avoidance or the tenacity or the potency or the accuracy is still very helpful. So having that little boost on them is great. I mean, I took Wampa to Relic 10 for that extra 10% tenacity.
That's definitely a choice. I say that with a Relic 10 Wampa, but mine was community voted.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just thinking about like that. There are different incentives behind it.
For sure.
The characters like Luthen or
anything that summons,
or anything that summons, really, there's a bit more incentive to do that because the stats scale based on the relic level and things of that nature. So it's kind of worth it to a degree. But there's just everyone else. It's like the tanks and supports get a good boost, but attackers get screwed. And then depending on stats, it's not bad to do Relic 10. It's just there's just if Relic 7 still beats Relic 10 squads, like, why do you care?
Yeah, pretty much. You need to be in that position of Relic 7 ain't it, like the success rate drops off a cliff if there's Relic 11 units. Like that's, and I don't think that's actually even in the future. I don't think that's unilaterally going to be the case. I think there's still going to be options where you're like, oh, okay, my Relic 7 team is still beating Relic 11 teams, but I think it's going to get harder and harder to do, or it's going to be far less reliable.
Well, that's going to be the thing. Is when we were doing our testing, there was always certain counters that just you couldn't beat the mechanic, right? Like Leia is gonna always, not always, I don't want to say always. Leia is always positioned to have an advantage versus Ahsoka because you're abusing the mechanic of them targeting Jyn, and she can't die as long as Adrad's present. Now, you could be a little more precarious if you have a lower relic Adrad. You might die to splash damage, but Leia has some stuff in her kit that kind of prevents the crits, and you can kind of always mod Adrad to be just tanky AF and not do anything besides just absorb hits. He does not need the offense modding when he's not leading. He can just be tanky. You can throw defense,
he could just be junky
on him.
And he's really hard to put down, to be fair, in a Leia team.
Yeah. And so, there's tons of things that you can kind of do to thwart that, but you're just abusing the mechanics at play. You're not really worried about Delta. But then there are going to be teams where it's like, like Bo-Katan, past like RD2 or like, 3, let's be real. Once you get to RD3, Bo-Katan versus Lord Vader gets very dicey, very, very,
it does. Very fast. I believe I did it on Friday night. And my Bo-Katan team is like R7, so it is sketch. It is sketch when they're rocking like full R9s or an R10 on Vader as well, and that sort of thing. And I think we survived with like just Bo-Katan. Like it was just her alive right at the end, and she had to solo like 3 of the clones and Lord Vader. But she just about pulled it off. So I'm like, I think it's time I take that Mandalorian team to like Relic 9.
Well, besides for the CM, like I enjoy them being at Relic 9.
I mean, Kath, you're not selling it to me. Actually, you're making it sound worse. I'm not doing another CM in territory battles. It's not happening, mate.
I mean, the one advantage is that it's worth a ton of points, right? It's like 1.4 million points for the CM on Mandalore, so it's not bad. It's like the Cal mission with Cal lead, but like I like she's really good, and the extra durability is great. But again, it's one of those things where it's like Lord Vader has like 5 counters.
Yeah, he's got
just
a couple.
Use any of the other ones that you have a higher relic investment. You just kind of have to like
Yeah.
play around. Like
I
that's
mean,
that's
I
that's
usually
the
just throw
problem with
Bane
it.
at him, to be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem when it comes with half of this stuff. Is like you can fight these counters all you want, but at the end of the day, most teams have quite a few counters to them. So you just got to take your highest relic counter, and then that's what you use on offense.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're trying to do is banner pinch in GAC. Most of it is like most of the holds people are getting this week are just because we don't know what to use versus certain things. We haven't had the opportunity to mess with it in 5v5 yet. Because we have basically 2 new cron sets for 5v5. We got the new Rebel Inquisitor cron sets, and we have the Mercenary and Scoundrel cron sets that haven't seen 5v5 play yet. So, and the Balin cron and things like that. They just haven't seen the play yet. So there's a lot of things people are learning. But then after that, it'll be on insights, and then it'll basically be like, man, did you get 850 or 845? Like, where did efficiency land you today?
Yeah. It's tons of fun. It's tons of fun. Excuse me. Sorry. Ooh. Yeah, that felt a bit weird.
Well, trying to slowly die.
Yeah, I think I have been slowly dying since Friday night, to be honest. It's been rough.
Technically, you've been doing it since the day you were born. But...
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's a little bit morbid, a little bit grim, but it is what it is. Yeah, you said earlier, actually, how is your GAC rocking? You said you're doing okay at the moment.
I'm doing okay. I'm 2-0 on the main account this week. I'm inside the top 50 with the current placement. The alt is 1 and 2. I don't really want to keep winning on the alt because the alt presently is like flirting with the top 100.
Nice.
So I could try a little harder. I think last round I was just like trying to knock it out, and I wasn't being as efficient. I made a couple of mistakes, and so I lost on I dropped versus Lord Vader with Bane because I didn't bring enough armor pen, and so I literally just sat there.
Stalled it out. Was it?
Yeah, stalled out, and then I lost another fight that was should have been really easy to win, but it is what it is. But yeah, my wins on my main account feel like it's just like happenstance. Like,
really?
Yeah, I don't feel like I deserve the wins. Like, I haven't been doing anything crazy or creative or interesting. It's just like
if they failed against your defense.
Yeah, they just happened to drop a team. Maybe I burned. Like, it's more about what they said on defense than what I did offensively.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
They set a team down that would have been the hard counter to XYZ, and they just didn't have the best option available, and they got a drop or whatever happened. I just don't have an idea. They tried doing something interesting and it bit them in the ass. I tried to do the same thing with the new God, I can't remember, the Chirrut Cron. I was like, oh, this is totally gonna work. Then I just watched Chirrut like one shot Nihilus for like 1.5 million damage.
Yeah, that Cron is nutty. Although now you have to be Relic 6 to use it, so my R5 Chirrut is not too happy.
I mean, mine's Relic 8, so...
Well, kiss my ass.
It's hairy for my taste.
It is. It's got a little fuzz on it. I'm sorry.
But, it was just things like that where, you just don't quite know what to do with the team, and you try something and it bites you in the ass. So I feel like my wins have been more from, like, my opponent experimenting or just whatever. I don't feel like I've been the superior player. I just had a little bit more luck.
Fair.
That's about basically how it feels like it's gone. So
that's fine.
But it's been fun. I'm happy that the overpowered crons are gone.
So am I, drastically so. Yeah.
So that's great. How are things on your end? I know I caught you playing your alts GAC, and you were like trying to
struggle bussing.
12 teams on the Ray, but
oh my god, yeah, no, I think I'm 1-on-1 on both accounts. The alt account, to be fair, it didn't really stand a chance. It was going up against a 9.7 million guy when I've got like 4.3 or something, and he had 3 GLs and 2 of them were on defense, and I was just like, okay, normally the guys have got like GLs, and for some reason they just don't set them on defense. And you can get through one or two, but when he hides a back wall JMK, I'm just like, okay, well, not a whole lot I can do about that one. So yeah, having lots of fun there. But it was good. The main account was a bit of a mess, but I don't really remember it. Like, I know we were okay until the back wall hit, and by that point, not sure what happened. Don't know. Stuff happened.
At that point, I was too drunk to remember.
Can confirm. Definitely too drunk to remember at that point, which, it's a thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, it was fun all the same. I'll look forward to the final round. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'll do that tomorrow for sure. Yeah. It'll be reet. I'm not really. I'll be honest. I'm not really feeling this set of DCs. I've been a little bit lax, not refreshing Conquest quite enough, not giving it the attention it deserves, as it were. So yeah, I'm just like,
I want to, but my brain won't let me. Like I've been refreshing 9 times basically for all 2 weeks. So going to the 200.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing that kills me, because I was a victim of it.
You're the victim. I was a victim.
This last little Datacron set, I just didn't get very many rerolls when the blue set went down. When the droids and bounty hunter set went down, I didn't get quite as many as I wanted.
Yeah.
And so starting at a position to where I'm several hundred below what I normally have, really kind of made it harder to get the cron set up. I was able to sneak by and get the main ones put together, but I was not able, like last set, I wasn't able to go through and refine a bunch of crons to have, a lot of defense or a lot of armor pen or whatever else I needed to have in the set to make my offense more well-rounded in what we were doing. And so I feel like I can't really let down on farming because I don't have that second conquest to just, get to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 of the reroll material or the
you're gonna burn through it.
Yeah, so like I kind of need to keep farming that just for the sake of it. I'm stopping myself. I also went a little bit more on this cron set. Usually I'd probably stop around 15. I went to 20 on this set, which is like that's another like 1,500 upgrade materials that I wouldn't have normally gone through. But that was just because I wanted the flexibility with the Inquisitor sets to be able to have multiple options for placing. And then it gave me an opportunity to get a couple of different not modding, but stat rolls. So one if I want to place it on defense, one if I want to place it on offense or use it for offense kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then like the Rebel one, I just felt like I was hunting stupid crons all day. Like I just couldn't. I had like 5 Drogon crons, all with the right 3 level, all like naturally hit the right 3, 6, and 9. Could not get the Phoenix cron. Couldn't get the Chirrut cron. Couldn't get. Who else was there? There's Adrad, but Adrad's not really important.
No.
Who was the other rebel?
Hera?
No, that's Phoenix.
I mean, she is a rebel.
Princess Leia. Sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was just having a hard time hitting any. Like every single one was hitting Drogon, and I just couldn't get anything stupid to land on the other ones. And I was like, can you just please do the other ones? And so I wasted a lot of time trying to get those put together. But anyway, it was fine. It was just I don't. If you let up the gas on farming, it really screws you when it dusts. And I don't want to spend, because like I can spend those crystals buying the packs, sure, when they come back for the reroll materials, but you'll just the efficiency on getting the materials is much better by letting it convert over than it is by buying the pack when it releases with the new cron set.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I suppose. You've definitely gone a lot harder than I have then, because I just haven't been feeling it. I'll be honest. I've just been like, it's not that I haven't been farming them. I have, but I've probably been doing like 5 refreshes a day. So I'm still doing some, not loads. And then I missed my remod because I was just like, the thought of doing all the remodding was actually making me feel a bit queasy. I was just like, do I have to remod my account? Oh, joy. Oh, joy.
No, you don't have to remod your account.
Yeah.
I honestly don't bother with remodding between 3s and 5s. I don't really care
Yeah.
enough to do it. I have good enough crons that I'll smash basically whatever's there in front of me, and then I'll just move along with my time. I just did do I took hot utils has it's the like scalper mode. It takes
Scalper mode.
Yeah, so basically it takes the modding average of the top like 100 GAC players or top 200 GAC players,
Okay.
and then creates mod outload definitions for every character in the game
That's
based
cool.
off of how top 200 are modding their characters. So you got to get like a meta mod set out of it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know how often it scalps or what it takes for that information, because I feel like some of it's not the greatest, or
Fair
very,
enough.
very, hey, there's like 50 Erodium players in here and they
Yeah.
they don't have anything modded. But anyways, it wasn't bad. It basically got most of my characters on the alt in a very good spot.
Okay.
With a little bit of tweaking on some of the GLs to bring their speeds back up, because either people had stuff where they had done something specifically, maybe TW at the time, where they moved mods around for a unit to change something, and it wasn't quite what you use in GAC, but still, it was for the most part a very good way to kind of get the entire account in a much better location. The only thing I have to do is then remind myself why things don't work the way I have them set up. like, oh right, I didn't have these speeds anymore. I need to go check half my meta teams to make sure that I'm like, hey, did they leave Balin at above 360 speed, or did they slow him down? Because if he's not out running, he's not doing certain things. So I got to be very careful around that
certain
kind of
things
stuff,
that you need to have done.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's just one of those. It was nice to have for that, because I usually you have to rely on someone doing it for you, or spend time to do it yourself, and I'm too lazy for that right now.
I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes it's just not worth it. So yeah, I'll have to take a look at that, because I usually I do a remod when we have new characters come to the game, and I want to swap things around, or if a new Datacron comes around, I might want to remod a team because all of a sudden some random ass fucking unit does good shit, and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to try this now. But it gets very cumbersome. So I've been a little bit laid back.
Not next week. It's still like 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Week and a half out. But yeah, that's going to suck to try to get everyone redone. Because the worst part about this current set is everyone's vying for like the same like primary set. Like almost all the ISB faction wants speed sets minus like the droids, and it's just like
speed sets for a change. Okay.
Yeah. Couple of because like what Vel and maybe what's her nuts? I can't think of her name right now.
I don't know.
Cinta, like maybe Vel and Cinta, Kalia, you could maybe tweak them a little bit on what they want, but it's like you're still gonna want the team fast. You're still gonna want mostly just quick, because of the vulnerable is what's gonna cause the heartache on most of their mechanics. So, anyways, it's just one of those things where it's like trying to pull that many sets out of your butt all at the same time is going to be so annoying. Because like, how many teams do I have to sacrifice? Were these mods here for a reason? Do I remember why XYZ tune has this plus 28 speed mod on it? I can't recall. But the thing is too is like half of these when the next set dust, where that had all the FDCs, the 7 FDCs on it.
Yeah.
I feel like what you're gonna need, the depth of your modding isn't gonna be a strain as much, because you're not worrying about fielding quite so many teams anymore. Because like, well, Barris is gonna go back to doing nothing until 3s, more or less, right? Asajj is not really going to be a meta team.
I mean, you'll
in
use
5v5.
Barris on Stranger, right?
No. Sorry, the
Inquisitor Barris. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard Barris. I automatically see. That's how much I give a shit about the new Inquisitor Barris.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. It's just like, whatever. So it's just one of those things to where it's like, the depth won't need to be there, because you don't need to be worrying about your Stormtrooper Luke anymore, or your Wookiees, or your Inquisitor, or your Bounty Hunters. Like, they're just not going to have that same viability. There's a chance that Averick will still be solid, because she still has the Scoundrel turn meter reset cron and the turn meter bonus, so she can probably still pull some stuff out of her butt versus like Jabba after this set goes. But most of the other ones, they're not triple Omicron units in GAC, so they're not really going to be expected to do anything too crazy. And again, with the saturation problem we still have, it's like, who really cares? So I'm assuming that Cassian's going to be on equal levels of.
I mean, he's probably going to be pretty good.
He should be the same power level as Stranger, essentially, is what you're looking for. It's a 6 Omicron team, so you would assume that it should be pretty close. And they will have a bonkers level 15 Datacron that's going to be like, hey, Cassian can only ever take 1 damage until the entire team's defeated, but he's going to have marked on him all the time, and everyone's going to stealth all the time. Screw you.
Should we jump to questions, Garth?
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
I know there's a few in there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start grabbing some questions. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Mole Inquisitor says, who is the best person to talk about an Erodium bug, as I have solved it and may have a solution to it? Meathead. Or just raise a ticket. Yeah, that's kind of it. You've got, if you think you understand a bug, you raise a ticket, or you DM Meathead and put forward your hypothesis, Mole. It's always good to try and fix bugs. Let's close that one out. Next one is Baseball 5516, long-time listener, first-time caller. Welcome, Baseball. Couple of questions for you to answer. With the new error system, how do you think CG is going to implement GL releases? Is it going to be an error with no legendary? Will there be a new legendary that is needed for the GL? Or will you be able to use the GL, assuming you get other non-error requirements to the proper relic level? So that first question, GLs in the error system. I always thought it just sat outside, right? That's how I always assumed it was going to be.
Yeah, the GLs will sit outside. They're a legendary, not slave to the system, right? They're just going to release whenever they want them to. They're not going to worry about them being a part of the era, because GLs are permanently available units. They're not going to be tied to that system. Now, will they have an era that releases the majority of the marquees for a GL? Likely. Is it possible that they don't run a legendary during that time? Also equally likely. Or do what they do in so many cases. You run a counter legendary to the GL release. It's like, it would be like, hey, the next GL is an ISB GL, and we gave you the Cassian, team in the fight it, but then these go to under that GL. Now, granted, I know that's not the case, but it wouldn't be hard for them to do something like that, where they just go, okay, the legendary you're unlocking is running the opposite direction of the team we're releasing. So we could easily see something like that occur. There's no reason why they don't have to run a legendary. But if they don't run a legendary at all, we know that there's zero reason to participate in the era system. So they're basically always going to have a legendary with every era. They're going to have some sort of unlock with it. So that's going to be the case, basically, no matter what.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Like, because it is like you said. As soon as you don't have a legendary journey guide unit as part of the era, people's reason for 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, any of the marquees in that 3-month period kind of drops off a cliff. I'm sure whales are still going to be whaling, right? Whales will always be spending money because they're like, yeah. Carth's like, no, I wasn't suggesting making a completely fresh account and seeing just how much I can whale in a month.
How much will Google let me refund in a month?
Yeah, my credit card was stolen. None of this was my spending.
Yeah, those are
those are words. Yeah,
we have to take the podcast down. No reason.
Yeah, no reason at all. It's just one of those things, right? Yeah, as soon as they don't put a journey guide unit, then they're going to lose so much spending. And that, I feel, is just a little bit... I can't see them doing it, but at the same time, Galactic Legends are so broad. They take like 3 times as much to unlock compared to a standard journey guide unit. You're usually looking at like 12 to 15 units, not like 5 or 6, you know? So I don't know how they do it. They could still do it as one set of error units to get it, but then it would just be really, really bloody cheap to get that Galactic Legend. Even if later on it comes out and it's like, you know, needs to have 12 to 15 units, including the 5 or 6 marquees. I just don't see them doing it. You know?
Whoa! Hold your horses. It's very easy how they course correct the cheap problem.
just make it not cheaper.
Yeah, R8 requirements, man. Like if it's easy to get the characters, we make it.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's error based, then they're not going to be like, yep, you need to have level 95 for this one because it's a Galactic Legend. Well, maybe they will.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No. Well, I can't. No. Sorry, I was misunderstanding what you were saying. I don't think they would still release a Galactic Legend inside of it. Unless they had requirements outside of it. But like it would be so counterintuitive to do it that way. Basically, you'd be better off just having those requirements be like they would just be a part of the GL unlock. The GL releases when the era concludes, and then basically you either you're ready already, or you have to spend to fill the gap through shipments or whatever else to get the rest of the way there. And then they will just have a smattering of other characters, and the other characters are just going to be high relic unlocks requirements. Like, hey, you're going to need like 12 R8s for this next GL. It's like, oh my God, there goes the R5 unlocks. But I mean, like, it's the reality of where they have to head with it at a certain junction. The cheaper it is to get access to the characters, the more expensive they're going to make the requirements for unlocking. And so that's probably the trend you'll see happen, is that they'll just make GLs have more expensive unlocks. Just make, hey, it's R7 across the board minimum. And then we'll have a few R9s, maybe an R10, a couple and the rest R8s. That's kind of what I anticipate seeing with the GLs to make that cost go up a little bit more on them. But I would still anticipate GLs releasing at the end of an era. They'll just tell us in advance, hey, the upcoming marquees are needed at, Relic 7 for this GL. You'll unlock them, and then you can take them the rest of the way. And so it's like, there you go. There's air level 95. Spend the extra few $100s to take them that one extra relic level.
Yeah.
But whatever, my guess is that they're still outside of it. They just use the era units as a requirement. They just the GL doesn't release until the era concludes. That's no different than usually the 6 to 8 weeks they tease every 2 weeks they tease another batch of requirements. It's not a hell of a lot different than that. So
no, not really.
I would assume something similar.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I reckon they'll just sit outside it. It's simpler for everything. But I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, because we're due a GL soonish. If not this coming era, there'll be the era afterwards. Or the one after that.
Yeah, so. The announcement should be soonish.
Yeah. So Baseball has a second part to his question. He says, speculative question. I know you've speculated ad nauseum about a new Mandalorian GL being next, but what do you think the 6 era characters for the GL will actually be? Maybe 4 of them will be for the GL team and 2 of them for a constable team. Thanks for entertaining pod and gets me through my early morning Monday morning workday. Ah, that's awesome. So yeah, have been talking a lot about potentially being GL Mando or Mandalorian and Grogu film related, because it just kind of makes sense. One of the only ones we've really theorized is we could have Magistrate Karga there. It would make sense to... Sorry?
So I don't know if I'd 100% consider him a constable, but he could be. He was the ruler of the area.
To me, it just kind of... It more plays into... he's clearly not a Mandalorian. And I feel like...
The only reason, if I were CG, that I wouldn't be doing the constables as part of the era is solely because you would be so far out on being able to use them with the prescriptive team. Like, it would be 6 to 8 weeks between when we have Cobb Vanth to when we would have those characters available to play with. In the game mode. That's the only reason I would fight that idea of it. Still, I would love to see the character, because I would love to see, a new Karga for the being a part of the team, but I don't really quite know yet which way they want him to lead. Is he going to be a scoundrel leader? Is he going to be a Mandalorian leader? Because they don't really do a ton of Mandalorian hinting in the movie, and so it's like, or in the trailer, sorry, but it's like, so what are we really gonna see? Are we gonna see a scoundrel type thing? Are we gonna see a Mandalorian type thing? There's not really a ton of options left for him to run into, and I don't see him being a leader for Mandalorians. But with that even being said, they could either lift up existing units. We have the old IG 11 and Quill that kind of are dead on the wayside now, that they could be revitalized into a new team, and they could produce a couple characters for that. They could produce a couple of characters to buff the existing Mandalorian squad, and they could do a couple of characters to buff either Imperial Remnant. We could do some of the the new IS what the Imperial Commandos, the Remnant Commandos, we could call them, and then we have the Praetorian Guard from the movie that we could kind of work with. So there's a lot of things from the verse that could tie into it. They don't have to be building to specifically the GL's team. The GL's team could already exist in the game, and they just use something available to kind of build it up. But I don't know. Part of me doesn't think any of that's the case, because a GL without a Conquest unit seems far-fetched to me, but I guess it's not impossible. Leia doesn't have one, and she's been great, but the last
Drogon was kind of nutty.
Drogon was nutty on it for a marquee. But the last 2 we've had, Leia and Hondo have had Conquest units that are part of their kit, so maybe they do a legendary unit instead. I don't know. There are options, but they don't have to release the team with the era. They could easily just pick up parts of it and then pump out a bunch of things. But I would say that the next era is going to be, stuff from the Mandalorian series, if not the movie itself. It
would make sense to me if it was, because it's just a lot easier for them to prep for something like that, isn't it? Like, they don't need to have advanced information about what's coming up in the film and stuff like that. I personally would like to see Rotter come to the game. I hope he does.
He would need to lead a team, though. He couldn't be a lifter, because you can't have 2 large units in the same squad. So
they could just make him not large. He could just be Dutty. He could just be an average-sized, small, big hut.
Come on, a hut with a 6-pack is not going to be your small hut.
I mean, we need an idea of scale. He could still only be like 6 foot. We just don't know. I don't think he is. I do, but I would like to see. I would like to see Rotter come to the game. That would be sick.
That would be cool. I would love to see a second Hut Cartel team kind of come up. There's a ton of play or nod to that in the in the trailers, but man
Yeah.
alive, I just don't know if they want to open that can of worms right this era. I guess it could be on the next one, but who knows?
Who knows indeed? Who knows indeed? But yeah, it's hard to say. We could even get stuff like, you know, axe woves, and Christ, I can't remember the name of the other Mandos now. But you know, something to fatten out the Mando team. Something potentially, like I said, it could be Constables, it could be more Scoundrels, it could be Imperial Remnant. The film itself seems so like it doesn't feel like it's got a defined villain. It feels like there's just, you know, it's just Mando out there doing a bunch of different shit. You know, he's closing down on Imperial remnants, but he's also going out hunting bounties. Embo's there for some reason. Like, you know, it feels like quite a broad film, generally speaking. It feels like they took the TV series and they were just like, let's smash it all together and make a movie out of it instead. So who knows? Who knows? It's a really hard question to answer, I think. Okay, let's keep going. Mayday says, hello, what would be your key points when promoting yourself to find a good guild, other than participation, high raid scores, and daily tickets? For context, my 4 million account is a few months away from its first GL layer. I'm very close to unlocking Bale and Skull, Bo-Katan Mandalore, Profundity, and Grand Inquisitor. In my experience, getting into a guild is you can say you're getting 600 tickets a day, okay? That's kind of like minimum barrier to entry. Bare minimum is do your tickets. Guilds like to look that you can support them in guild-based activities. So yeah, having a good raid score is a good indicator. Being ready for Zepho, being ready to get Reva, being ready to go to Mandalore, being ready for special missions in rogue planets are all things that are going to put feathers in your cap. Trust me when I say most guilds don't give a shit if you're in Kyber. They're like, okay. You know, they'll care more if you are topping your fleet arena, so you're getting crystal income. You know, TW is not the be-all and end-all unless you are specifically going into a TW guild. So all they care about really is that you can support and provide benefits to everybody else. So good raid scores, being able to do okay in TB, help out where it really matters on the special missions, and make sure you develop in your roster. So that's how I would go for it. Carthrick, anything to add there?
I mean, yeah, not really. No, I mean, it's just going to be it depends on what you're shooting for, like how high you want to shoot. But I mean, you're really going to have to look at, you know, how much you can contribute to guilds that are doing rote, you know, getting your Relic 7 teams up so you can actually participate in, you know, the people that do like 36 stars, something like that. And then it's just going to be about your raid score. I mean, that's what most people are going to care about, is just how much can you contribute to the raid. If you want to go somewhere where you're trying to hop boxes, I mean, that's going to be what they care about, is can you still provide, you know, 7, 8, 10 million to the raid or whatever you need. Right. And so that's kind of the sticking points for a lot of it. But unfortunately, I don't know what you're aiming for, so I can't give you further advice on to what else to refine when looking for another guild. But usually my guess is to claw your way into whatever highest guild you can get, build up what you can, then just keep jumping forward as often as you can. I mean, that's where the game is at, is you gotta keep taking stepping stones and guilds to maximize what you're getting for resource economy, and then once you hit that plateau is to then start jump to the next one and do it again. That's kind of what you're looking for, is you need to keep thinking about what guilds are going to be expecting of you and what you're trying to achieve, and then make the reasonable jumps as you can progress them.
Yeah, I like to use the term of being the smallest account in the guild should be your aim. Be the littlest guy there, and do like outperform what people expect of you is the best way to do it.
The caveat there: be the smallest account on your guild's roster, outperform the bottom 25.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you're not the guy on the chopping block.
yeah, you gotta make sure that you're not the first one they want to cut when a bigger account comes their way. But
Yeah.
that is
Plus,
that's
candidly,
what.
nobody likes a freeloader, right? So,
No,
yeah.
but anyways.
Yeah, it's a good question, though. It's a good question. Okay, so apart from that, no, that was actually just one question. I thought you had a second part there. Vice Torn says, perhaps this is just an endgame problem that nobody cares about, but I've been picking up the episode pass regularly, where I picked up crafted Kyrotech pieces. This is one of Karth's favourites. However, because of the Lightspeed tokens, all my legacy tunes are at Relic. The only place I can use crafted Kyrotech is on Conquest reward tunes, or new GLs if they come. I have 14 now, 1400 Kyrotech worth. Do you think CG will add them to the scavenger scrap? What do you reckon, Garth?
No, they will not. I have asked this question. I passed it on to Meathead and a couple other things that I've asked for bundles that release to have the prototype or the salvage instead of the completed Kyrotech pieces for that exact issue. Because I told them I'd be more inclined to buy stuff if the what I could get out of it was there, right? If it was useful.
Yeah.
But when you can't convert 300 Kyrotech out because it's stuck behind a completed gear piece, the value drops behind what's there. So I've asked the question, I've passed it along. I do hope they do address it at some point, but I feel like you are trying to satiate 1,000 players worth of problems where tens of thousands would rather have the completed piece. So it's just one of those things to where it's like I just try to avoid buying anything that has them completed in it besides the passes, and then just when I use them, I use them. If I wanted to complain about every single gear piece I can't do anything with in this game, I've got tens of thousands of things that I can't do anything with anymore. So it's just part of the getting to a certain size of an account. You just quit using all the stuff they give you.
It is a little bit of an endgame issue.
Gripe.
Yeah. But there we go. Okay, cool. Sorry to hear it. I mean, it does kind of suck because I'm in the same place now. You're just you're building up these completed Kyrotech pieces that you only really might be able to use on a Conquest unit. But it's a first world problem, I think. Stars comes in with, I think that this next era should lead into either the next GL required or new raid, maybe both. There is only two real choices, either Mando or Thrawn. I think anyone else wouldn't make a lot of sense, but this is CG, so who knows? Are there any from Mando or Thrawn that haven't been seen yet that you would like to see as requirements? Maybe a new Zeb? Because Zeb is in the film. I know that much. I mean, we've kind of gone over it already, really, with that. I highly doubt it's Thrawn. I feel like if it's going to be Thrawn, they'll wait until Thrawn is more of a mainstream villain. Right now, he was just kind of in Ahsoka, right?
Yeah. He's not... They clearly had plans for it at one point because they let it slip back when when Enoch and those guys came.
Yeah.
But they shelved it, obviously, and they want to do something different with it now, and so that's which is fine, totally fine with that.
It was not fine.
In fact, was not fine. But honestly, they have time, right? They could, because the era that starts in May, it goes May, June, July. They could easily still announce one in the one that starts in July. Mm-hmm. And then it would release by the time we got to the anniversary in November. And so they could still wait another 3 months to do a GL. We just speculate that we'd hear it sooner because we're assuming a new GL would be tied to the new raid, and the new raid would do, there's a lot of things we're speculating all coming at the same time. They don't necessarily have to. But if I was a gambling man, I would say that the high odds are, of course, a new GL. Light side is most likely, not a given, but most likely.
Yep.
So take that with what you will, I guess. There's a lot of things I'm hoping for, but I have just low hope on Thrawn. It seems very much to be something with Mando, and then for the characters, I don't know. They can pull things that already existed from the first few seasons of Mandalorian or Ahsoka or Book of Boba Fett. There's tons of stuff that they could draw from if they really wanted to. I just don't know how much they're going to be tying into it. Part of me feels like with how much UI improvements coming out with this update that they are going to be sticking a lot closer to the movie than I would have given them credit for. Because it feels like they're really trying to polish this up before they get a massive influx of players. And the only way I feel like you're going to get a massive influx of players if you're going to be pretty closely tied to the new theatrical release. And so I would say, Mando's something Mando related is a shoe-in, and I can't really pick out who else would be a GL besides Mando at this point.
Or or something in there. I think it will be like a Mandalorian and Grogu GL. It just kind of makes sense. It's a film. It's the first big theatrical release, like I said, since 2019. Just kind of makes sense. Kind of tracks. So yeah, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing a new Zeb, but I don't know where and how he'll fit. He doesn't look any different to standard Zeb.
His clothes are different.
He's got like a blue fucking fighter jet guy.
Yeah,
top.
He's got a New Republic fighter out or pilot.
Right, we need New Republic Zeb. Make it happen, and he's a galactic legend.
Give me New Republic Hera, okay? I need a new light side fleet yesterday, please. I don't care. Give me an E-wing. Give me a couple of new X-wings. Give me a new Y-wing. I don't care. Just give me a new fleet.
Just all of them.
Republic fleet. Okay, thank you. That's all I need. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Yes, yeah. Let's do away with Leviathan. It's time. It's time for us to do that.
It's about damn time. Anyway.
Turn up the music. Turn down the lights. Anyway, Silent Static J-Mark says, what do you think the power level of the new Andor character team will be like? Well, Karth seems convinced it'll be sort of Stranger level powers.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? Six Omicron team.
Well, not all Omicrons are created equal.
Yeah, but I mean, let's put it this way. Stranger loses his Datacron. The same set that Cassian will get his FDC. Yes. I would anticipate that being a similar power level. You've got a triple Omicron GAC character existing already. Now, granted, I wouldn't say Luthen was nearly as powerful as Starkiller, but I feel like it's going to perform at a relatively higher level.
Okay.
You're still going to have a very annoying team to deal with. They're going to probably put in some mechanics that just make it ungodly annoying. They're just going to sit there and take 12 turns and you're going to die unless you take like GL and their crazy cron and go kill them, something like that. Like everyone's going to pull Hondo off of defense with the Vane cron to go kill Cassian in the next 3v3, like that level of stupid. But it's going to be one of those things, like once we get it kind of sorted out, it's going to be like, oh yeah, but Great Mother's just throttles it, so who cares? Like there's always going to be a counter. It just depends on what you have access to. It's kind of like Satele just came out and was like, by the way, get wrecked.
Yeah.
Granted, it'll only do it for a couple, for the rest of the turn meter gain, but still.
It counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be strong. He seems quite fun in Colosseum. It's just really hard to judge, especially when you've got fucking Pow there and you can't use Luthen and shit like that.
Yeah, you can't use like the major critical component of the team, which is Luthen.
kind of like obfuscates things a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, half of what's her nuts is Clea or
yeah, Clea
is like around Luthen dying.
Yeah. Which is another weird choice, but it's not something unheard of. Yeah. Having a sacrifice baked into a kit. Because we've had that with... what's it called? Help a brother out. It's Zalbar Army, right? Zalbar Army, Bane does it. Frickin' technically speaking, fives does it. It's like it sacrifices your own, you know, your own banners in order to gain a boost, right? So, okay. Next question from Dak then. Hey guys, thanks for all the content. You're welcome. With your help, I have taken my new account and unlocked Lair in 2 months' time. My question for all of you is, how do I prioritize these Andor characters once they become unlocked for us? I have Cassian at 85 and the other Rebel fighters at rank 75. When they become unlocked, should I prioritize raising their relics as stars become more available to farm? How do I weigh Rebel fighters versus other farms? Like,
Don't touch it. Sorry.
That would be my advice as well.
I'm going to be frank with you. It's like, if you aren't getting it, there's going to be, like, it's one of those things, right? Maul, with his kit, is so ridiculously durable, even at Relic 2, that people still found a use for the character with the FDC and everything else after it was done. I don't think we're going to have that same luck with Cassian. Cassian is hard required. I think if you have a delta advantage on him, you're just going to mow through the team so quickly that it's not really going to do anything. And so I feel like for most players, if you can't get them starred in Relic, that they're not going to do a hell of a lot. And then if they do anything, it's going to be an FDC that's carrying the bulk of the weight on them. Otherwise, they're just not going to do much for you. And so I would say for the most part, you just let them go farm bull. Use Luthen with Saw or Momo.
Well, I mean,
Kron is there, and just ignore the rest of it.
I'm wondering if he even has Luthen.
That could be.
Because like if you don't have Luthen as well, I really wouldn't bother. Because that's just going to be you're leaving a heck of a lot of power on the table there. But I don't know if that is the case.
Well, because they're the. If you don't have Luthen, I mean, I would. Yeah, I don't know if I'd rank him very high. Without Luthen, you're gonna suffer because that's like Klea's entire kit is kind of based off of Luthen being present. There's a lot of the kits that are going to require. I mean, the summons is going to be a large portion of the kit too. So like, I just feel like you're going to be massively underperforming without access to Luthen. And so it's like, if you're not 7-starring now, I would just shelve it. Just go, hey, we'll wait till they're farmable and deal with it. In the meantime, I'll finish Bo-Katan and Baylan. Because, I mean, those are both solid teams. Bo-Katan and Baylan still punch up very well versus a lot of things. I just don't think Rebel fighters are gonna without Luthen specifically are gonna be doing much that's gonna be worth writing home on. I think they're gonna be a good team. They're gonna punch very hard, but you got to have the entire piece of it. And the other caveat to that, of course, is that most people are going to have that team at the high end of the game. It's going to be a Relic 9 team. So
yeah, that's
kind of what I'm basing that off of as well, is that you're going to be equal relics. If you're at Relic 4 with your Cassian team and you don't have Luthen, Treya's just going to walk right over the top of you. Like, I don't know what changes that. Like, so I guess there's too much unknown, but I wouldn't prioritize the Rebel fighter team if you don't have Luthen in your roster at all.
Yeah. Makes sense. I would probably skip, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's not that Cassian won't do good things, but outside of the error battle, I feel like there are so many other easier to get teams that you could benefit from. It really depends on your roster. But, yeah.
Hell, with the journey, the anniversary quest, Lightspeed tokens, you can get Bo-Katan for basically no real work either. So it's like,
yeah, she's pretty accessible.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd fight it. I'd rather go get some stuff that punches up decently well.
Okay, next question is from Fat Charlie 369. He says, "What do you think will happen on May the 4th, and what would you like to see happen?" That's one part. I think we'll get shitloads of things in the store, shitloads of free stuff.
Shitloads of packs.
Shitloads of packs. What would I like to see? I would like to see some big announcement for the game that gives us hope for the future. That's what I would really like to see. Overhaul
theory,
of GAC and TW to make it really good and enjoyable.
you are just shooting for the absolute.
Hey, he says, what would you like to see happen? All right. I
Yeah,
would like the moon, please.
In fairness, I would like to see that happen, like with next week's update, with the update for the era, because we know we're gonna get all that deluge next week. But yeah, I would like to see something for what they're gonna do for the new raid, maybe a new GL. I'd love to see some sort of nod to, hey, this is a roadmap for what we're trying to release in 2026. I know we haven't
road
had
ahead
State of the Galaxy and for what feels like a decade,
a galaxy long amount of time.
But just something to kind of get an idea of where we're going and what we're doing on the grander scheme. I would love to get something for GAC and TW, but I feel like that's too pie in the sky. All the current data mine stuff suggests that we're very much still focused on the initial experience inside this game. So I have low hopes for Endgame content coming or announced, but I won't say it's 0%. I just know that I won't be
it's a not 0% chance. I like it. Oh dear me. Yeah. Okay, so the second part of his question is, what do you think the newest update will bring when it's released? I mean, we're talking the same things here. The newest update is May the 4th. So, I mean, unless you're talking about mini updates. If it's mini updates, we think it's just going to be overhauls of UI mostly.
It's graphical improvements. It's all about just improving the new game experience. They're anticipating. I mean, last year is a good indication. We had millions of new players sign up with last year's May the 4th.
Yeah.
My guess is they're trying to improve early game experience to try to capture more of that when this goes through.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're focused on. So that's what I'm like. I bet the farm on that part of it, but the rest of it is just pie in the sky. What I would love to see, but I know that's for sure what they're trying to change is working on making the game look nicer, smoother, try to get people locked in a little bit earlier, try to get people engaged.
Better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, in that content. So spend that money.
You want to. Oh, dear me. Okay, so next question comes from Limbisax. Lumbisax? That's a good name. Late/endgame player. I am sitting on so many purchased mods and mods from events, I can't claim them until I get rid of more I already have. Overwhelmed and I just ignore it now. What steps should I take to control of my mods again? And when do you think CG is going to increase the mod cap? I don't think they will. I think they're just going to be like, suck it up, nerd, deal with it.
They've outright said on multiple occasions the reason why they don't increase the cap is because if they just increase the cap, players keep accumulating until they hit the next cap. Like you have to mod manage, and the reality is that you need to be far more stringent on what you're keeping in your mod inventory. It's like, get your credits to build up, slice all of it to 12. Whatever doesn't hit speed, you immediately throw away. Whatever does hit speed, you then start looking at what it takes. Like for me right now, unless it has percent offense, flat offense, and speed, and like an offense crit damage or crit chance set, like if it's under 10 speed, when I've taken it to 12, I throw it away. I don't touch it. If I get any mods to 5A that are at 10 speed, I throw them away. I don't deal with them anymore. They go away. And a large part of that is because I'm trying to keep the averages as I continue to roll up these mods to get to my 15, 20, 25 content rolls as I move them upward. So for me, I just have hard limits on what I take. And I no longer even worry with myself about, well, maybe it'll turn into something good. No, it doesn't meet the criteria. It's under 10. It just goes in the junk pile. Unless it specifically has like really good stat secondaries that I'm looking for in a specific character or something else I'm looking for. But if I don't know what I'm looking for, I'm doing them in large batches. It's just, you just set a hard line of what you want on your quality of your mod, and you just throw the rest of it away. go through your speed primary mods and just start chucking stuff that's not helpful. If it's a gray mod and it doesn't have any good stats, like you don't need to keep a whole bunch of speed arrows these days. So just throw them away. Just start churning through. If you've got tons of health primary stuff, just start blowing it out the door. Nobody needs those anymore. But that's kind of what I end up doing. A lot of those, you just got to batch upgrade everything that you can and just start throwing away things that don't meet the threshold. I at one point used to be, if it's 8 speed, I kept it. If it was 9 speed, I kept it. Now I'm up to 10 speed. But I'm almost at 300, 300 speed. I'm at 281, I think, plus 25 speed mods on my account.
Nice.
So you have to start being more selective on what you want to keep. But that's what you end up having to do. You just start throwing things away once they don't get to your certain criteria. So arbitrarily pick a speed minimum that you want to have on all your mods moving forward. If it doesn't meet those, you just throw them out. You don't want to take those to 6E because they're just going to low odds you get good hits with them, and then you want to just kind of keeping your averages as high as you can. So that's where you start there and just start axing away everything else.
Makes sense to me. I take the same approach. I'll keep anything that's got a 5 or a 6 speed of speed secondary, and I'll roll it up, and if it misses 2 rolls, I'll usually sell it. And if it's got 1 extra roll on it and it's below 10, I just sell it. I'm like, it's not worth just trying to blow all your mats on stuff like this.
Yeah.
Just focus on the really good ones.
Yeah, the only thing I keep at 5 speed are the gray mods, and they get 1 hit if they don't have anything that I like other than speed. They'll go to green, and if I hit speed, I'll hit it again. And then it depends on what the speed is, then if it stays in my inventory or not. If it doesn't hit the speed, but it has like good secondaries, like percent offense or whatever else you're looking for in an offense mod, I'll hit it to blue to see if it hits speed again. But basically at a certain junction, there's only a small handful of teams that don't care about what their speed thresholds are. And so you can just throw most of those away. So it's like, okay, there's no reason to go to purple if I'm already, I didn't get the offense roll. I didn't get a speed roll, some 5 speed, 1 offense roll. It's like, okay, why would I waste the rolls going to purple if there's no way that this is going to still turn out good? I'm still trying to pray and hope that maybe the next 2 hit speed, and it might. For every time I say that this is a dumb way to do it, I've equally been like, well, let's just see what happens if I go to gold, but
I've done that a lot.
But the reality is when you're staring at that large of an inventory, you're at the cap, you've got tons in your mailbox. You just got to start being arbitrary. You just got to go, okay, if it doesn't do this, I just throw it out the door. And then that's the only way to keep your mods under control. You cannot prey on the what-if-isms on, well, it's really good. It could potentially be a great mod one day if I invest like $30 into it. It's like, yeah, or you can invest $30 into just rolling mods, and you'll probably wind up with a better average. So anyways, it's just, you have to pick a starting point of what you don't want anymore and then throw the rest of it away.
Wise words. Okay. Yes, that is definitely the way, because they're not going to increase the cap. I highly doubt they do anyway. The Fuzzy Goblin Wizard has a question, which is a great name. Given how crunchy the signal data crunch is, what type of biscuit would signal data be, and what tea would you choose to solve the issue? Also, how would you like to see signal data be made more available? Okay, so if signal data was a biscuit, what type of biscuit would it be, and what tea would you choose to try and dunk it in?
Hey.
What?
Sorry, I interrupt this broadcast for a new data mine news from the Soga event server.
Oh?
Mall Hate-Fueled Events returns May 5th. And ends June 2nd. It runs the entire month of May.
A whole month of Mall. Well, there you go. I got a whole month of Mall.
No, sorry, I just saw the game news pop up, and I was like, well, that's
huge.
News to share. That's huge.
That is. So, so Darth Vader Duel's End should be farmable on Tuesday, I want to say. So you'll have basically... Yeah, you'll have a month to get ready, and that's not too bad. truth be told.
That's a nice little freebie from CG, because usually
Yeah.
it's like, well, gonna have to wail on that last marquee. It's like, you got a month to farm Darth Vader. You could probably make that happen unless you're like 3-star unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty.
Sweet.
That's pretty sweet.
There's gonna be a new video after this. Tribe Talks, guys.
God, don't make me.
Yeah,
I probably should.
The biscuit would be a biscotti.
A biscotti, like
yeah.
the
chocolate
caramelized
thing. Yeah, that are just like hard as a dried out biscotti. Like, you know, it was left in the back of your car. The package was slightly perforated,
slightly a bit stale.
Yeah, just hard as a brick. The tea, I don't know any great teas that would go well.
I mean, it has to be a builder's tea, right? Do you have builder's tea in America?
Not a clue.
That's just standard British tea that's strong.
I would just say a black tea. I wouldn't go with a green tea, but a black tea would maybe do well with kind of making that work. But I mean, the reality is that the feeling that a crunch is kind of like, it goes back and forth, because like for me, I don't feel it, but that's also because I just do nothing but farm seal data all the time, and I don't need much besides the tier 3 and the tier 4 now.
Yeah,
but they've done things that have improved access, just not in the way players want, right? Like, there are tons of stuff now that are coming up that are constantly being released for packs, that are for crystals or for money, that are really improving the availability. They've added them to more parts of the stores. They're parts of the new era battles. They're parts of the new they're in the episode pass as well. They're parts, they're in the Conquest. There are more places to get seal data. It's just that, we want more for free, and so that becomes the challenge. Is that the volume is theoretically there. It's just, are you willing to put your crystals or your wallet to it? And so, I mean, I don't know what people really want out of that. I don't think the bottleneck is as atrociously bad as people want to go with. It's just that it's hard to focus on, specifically. But I mean, like my alt, I just don't really worry about upgrading random shit anymore. So it's like, it's not that hard to put 0 money into it and wind up with 1,500 of each signal data in a couple of months. And so I don't feel like it's atrociously bad. It could be improved, but yeah, I don't think it's bad as people think. I think it's just when you're always spending, it's hard to feel like you can never catch up. And so it's just, are you spending on too many things, or are you just have so many grinds that you're working at the same time that it's just going to constantly drain out what you have for your income? So I don't know. I always feel like there's never enough of something until I quit needing it, and then there's too much of it. Looking at you, stun guns. Looking at you.
Oh gosh, the stun guns, stun cuffs, carbanties, they just disappeared overnight, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
They're no longer locked in my relic salvage tree, so
yeah.
No one cares.
So in terms of type of, I would say type of biscuit, maybe I'm actually going to go with the rich tea, the humble rich tea, because it's the type of biscuit that as soon as you dunk it, it just disappears. As soon as you're like, I'm going to indulge in this rich tea, you put it in anything that's slightly warm and wet, it's just going to dissolve immediately. You're like, where's my fucking rich tea? And that's what signal data feels like to me. It just disappears. So if I was going to use a tea for it, I would have dry tea with no fucking water in it, so I can just like dust either side of the biscuit and be like, it's still in one piece, which makes for a not very pleasant experience. And how do I make signal data more available? I reckon they should give the same treatment that they gave with State of the Galaxy 1, where our daily challenges started dropping twice as much stuff, right? Our Cabantes went from 20 a sim to 40 or something stupid like that. put in those daily challenges a nominal amount of signal data so that we've got recurring sources of it for free every day. Just it doesn't have to be loads, because as soon as you like the gear economy and the relic economy is actually incredibly fragile. As soon as you do something really drastic, be like, hey, you get 50 of every signal every day, you will go from needing shitloads of signal data to be like, I've got thousands of signal data with nothing to do. Or you'll just be like,
back to needing Relic 8 and 9 mats.
Yeah,
you can't get them fast enough.
The impulse detectors, the Zimbiddles, the droid brains, the aeromags, they'll become the new crunch, right? So like,
are.
yeah, they are. Yeah, let's not pretend like they're not.
Like the last 6 months that Electrium conductors haven't been utterly killing me on Relic access.
Yeah. So yeah, just gradually, slowly, let us have a little bit of sauce for it, and I'll be happy. I'll be a very happy little clam in mud. So thank you, Fuzzy Goblin Wizard, which is a sentence I didn't think I'd ever say. Invitado says, I hope everything is going well for both of you. I can speak for myself. It's going quite well. Karth, everything going well for you, sir?
Yeah.
It's going great. As an ending player, I think he means endgame player, what would be a change that you would like to have in the game? It's been focused on new players right now, which is okay. However, end players seem to have been forgotten. We are forgotten. We are the unwanted love childs, aren't we, Karth? Nobody wants us in their room anymore. And it makes me a little bit sad. What would I like to see? I don't know, a little bit more reward for...
Revisit the last 6 months of Tribe Talks podcast for dynamic summation of what I'd want to see as an endgame player.
Yeah, I mean, we all want lots of things. I genuinely, I'm not even sure. Like this, for me, it feels, it's like that scalability, because we don't address things like late game GAC. Kyber GAC is a problem because the board's too small. And I don't think the solution is to make a bigger board. TW, top end, we talked about it earlier, the cap is so low, 380 million GP, and the rewards just haven't been updated. So it's all very well and good to boost the lower, the earlier game players, give them things like lightspeed bundles, give them things like lightspeed tokens, give them so much access to catch-up mechanics. But if the end game doesn't get sorted, it's like you said, you just end up getting forgotten. So they need to go back and address the reward structure and the goals for late game. Because right now, it feels like all I'm doing is wailing on new units, not working towards a new raid, bemoan having to invest in anything that was try and push stars in TB because the rewards are so dog shit. It's like, it feels like there's nothing for me to properly chase and get enthused about. And that's what I would like to see sorted, basically.
I got you.
I got you. I already got you. Yeah, that makes sense inside of my brain. Thank you, Invitado. Next question comes from Bubba Joe. Greetings, Carthrick and the Bald One. I come to share glorious profits. Glorious profits. With the latest update, they greatly increased the cap of micro attenuators. They did indeed. It was good. Hallelujah. What's the next quality of life inventory increase that you would like to see that will help players? Hopefully minimal programming investment from CG. Oh. Fix the
data
god...
cache.
Data cache increase. Yeah, if you could add a 0 to that, that would be quite nice. Then I'd never have to worry about it.
It doesn't even need to... It just... honest to God, if it was 250,000, it would be enough. Because that would be enough that if you dusted all 30 level 9s, right? Calculator, that's 120 million from that. And then let's say you get another 60 million from FDCs if you have like 4, and let's say they're all level 15s for whatever reason, then you would still be like, that wouldn't take you over 200,000, and so, or 200 million. So if the cap was like 250 million, then it reduces the need to rush, day 2 to sector 4 and start spamming through the 800s to get enough to not lose any. That would be a nice inventory increase. I did like the attenuators. That would have been actually the one I would have complained about. I think the other thing too is they should increase the caps on the raid currency. You know, just double them. I know that seems stupid, but I feel like with a lot of people, you kind of sit and wait for, like, you don't want to refresh the store, so you sit and wait for the right gear to show up, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and you don't always get through it in time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to sit there and be like, now I got to waste 10,000 materials because I couldn't get the Mark 3 Carbonti to show up enough times.
Yeah.
So I would like more of that stuff to be bumped up, just because I don't want to feel the pressure of having to spend for the sake of not losing currency. Luckily, CG was nice. Have to put the notification up on your claiming your raid rewards. It goes, hey, you're going to go over the cap if you claim this. Are you sure? So at least gives you the opportunity to dump it before you accidentally over collect. But still, I would just like a lot of the currencies to see the bump increase on the caps.
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. Frostbite asks, how much do you think you have both spent in total in this game? I'll go first because Kyrotech can blow your minds. I think I'm somewhere probably around the 5,000 to 6,000 mark. Oh. And that would be GBP, which is probably about $7,500.
To only be there.
How about you start with your alt account, Karth?
Oh,
you probably don't know the split, actually, do you? It's just like, it's just slug of money.
I mean, the alt has been fairly cheap because I only do the marquees and the passes, and then, like, occasionally I'll do a little bit of splurge spending when I need to fill a gap.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's still like the minimum on the alt is still like $300 a month.
Yeah.
I would say comfortably, I'm probably over 130K.
That's total, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, since I started playing the game, yeah.
Yeah,
I know
it's a
like
penny
a
or
year
two.
ago. A year ago, I was at like just over 100. Year or two, when last time I looked at the totals on it.
Yeah.
And I know I average about $1,000 a month in the game. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Kyrotech is somewhere in the region of 130. We think. And, yeah. We hope. So yeah, it's a pretty penny. It is a pretty penny. Thank you for the question, Frostbite. Try it forever.
It really adds up over a decade.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think over a decade I earned £130,000. No, that's not true at all. But
yeah,
over a decade that would suck.
Yeah.
What do you think of us having the option to turn off or on Relic, Delta, and Conquest? I think it's a waste of time.
I think that's a feature that shouldn't exist. I think it's easier for them to bring in the data disks to circumvent your problem.
Yeah, I would like to see a change to the feat data disk. What I would like them to do to the feat data disk is I want them to give it the ability of the super laser cannon from TB, where you build up energy, and it's 5% per turn, and when you get to 100%, you can insta-kill a unit. So it can still operate exactly the same, but add that in so that you don't actually have to take a team that has an insta-kill. So anybody can finish a battle without having to take it on and off. You can just
make sure it can only be used on the player side.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it's only for the player's side. It gives you an access to an insta-kill, but it doesn't give it instantly, because I feel like all of a sudden it turns into a really broken data disk. But if it's like, 5% energy per turn, after 20 turns, you'll be able to clear it, because you can just use it on the enemy leader, right? And then you'll be able to kill the rest of the enemy team then. So I feel like having that one small change would more than make up for any people having qualms with Relic, Delta, and Conquest. I quite like it, even my alt account.
Yeah, it makes it easier for people to get farther, and I feel like that's an advantage. And I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask about Conquest stuff, but I just feel like turning it on and off isn't a feature that needs to exist. So that's what I've got for you.
I don't know what to tell you, boys. That's all I've got for you. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Okay, cool. Next question comes from Dancing the Moon. Dancing the Moon. Love your content, Scribe. Thank you, Dancing. Speculative questions today. Among the new data mined assets is a large character icon for a version of Mando we have not seen before. Yes, that is definitely a new piece of artwork for Mando. It's not Bam, as he has a cycler rifle, and it's not the regular Mando, as he has the Beskar armor. Also, the icon doesn't match the existing icons for the current Mando. Is this the GL Constable Mando? He won't be a Constable. Do you think the next GL will have R10 Rex? I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Usually, what you can do...
I would be almost, like, certain that they would have it.
I mean, when you download... When you click the download button, right, the file is called Text Character UI Large Mando Beskar. He does have the Ambam rifle, and that is indicative of what you see in the film, because Bam, in one of the latest trailers for Mandalorian Grogu, Bam actually has that Beskar, Ambam rifle. So it could be pointing towards something Mandalorian Grogu related. And when you look at a lot of those other character UIs, there, you know, you could say, oh, Cara Dune. Well, she obviously has links to Mando. And then you've got Imperial Remnants, which obviously have links to Mando. Then you've got Hutt Cartel, which kind of does as well. I don't know about Chopper and Mon Mothma, obviously Rebel fighters and stuff like that. It feels like it's geared towards something related to Beskar Armor and Mando. Beskar Armor, Mando and Grogu. But yeah, hard to say. Hard to say. It would just be speculative. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, could absolutely be a special event. I hope so. Do you think the next year will have R10 Rex? We both think yes there.
Yeah. I think them giving away cheaper and cheaper is not going to be a continuing trend.
No. So yeah, next question comes from Roy. Hi Roy, how you doing? Hi Tribe Talkers. What is your take on the current added DC set? Are these impactful, or should it be this way, or should it be toned down a bit? There's a couple of nice ones. There are a couple of nice ones. I don't think it's an overwhelmingly like crazy one. It's more about the stats, I guess, like defense being like crazy.
The Vayncron was really, really good.
Yeah.
And, you know, really kind of meta defining. I don't think there's anything in this current Cron set that's really kind of like, oh my God. Now, granted, I know that's going to change once we lose the current like FTC batch where it's going to be harder for players to use the FTCs to get around things they couldn't pick up with Cron sets, because you have so many FTCs you could farm in the last set that, you know, you can use the stats from the Luke Cron on different things, the Wookiee Cron and other things, and the Asajj Cron and other things, and whatever else you need to do to get your counters to function. And I think when those go away, it'll be more challenging. But I think for the most part is, like you said, it's the defense stats being kind of ludicrously high that are always just catching people off guard. I don't think they should be toned down, though, because they're giving you equally as good rolls on Armor Pen. And so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal long term. But I mean, like, this set doesn't really have any real like winners for like the Rebel side, because I mean, if the Rebels had 25% turn meter, you could have some nutty things happening with the Cron set. But without the turn meter, they're pretty easy just to get in front of and then walk all over. You know, it's like, yeah, it sucks that Drogon can one-shot a lot sooner if you don't control him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Queen Amidala still pretty much just nukes Leia on defense anyways. So, you know, take the Wampacron, throw it under Queen Amidala, and go boop, boop, boom.
I want a soundbite of that. Boop, boop, boom.
But yeah, it's just, I don't think it's really that crazy. There's only a couple of good ones from each of these new sets. There's no FTCs, so whatever, it's fine. I'm not too fussed with it. And I like people not having all the cool stuff and have to struggle a little bit, because screw you nerds. My money should do something in this game besides
y'all should work harder. Come on.
Yeah. I'm paying for an advantage, damn it, and I want it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If I'm giving out money for an advantage, I want my advantage.
Are we going to see more animals like Batcher in the game who are battle ready?
God, I hope not.
I want
hope not.
I want Nyx. All right. I just want Nyx.
You don't want the girl though, just the
No,
just
fuck Kay. No, just give me Nyx. That's what I want. She's just so good.
Yeah, I think Batcher was. I mean, I get why they did Batcher. I would rather have them done another Tech or another Echo for the team.
Sure.
But I get why they did Batcher. But it doesn't hold the same sentimental value as the characters do. So I prefer.
Yeah.
I would prefer more characters.
Except for Nyx, they just don't. You know.
Yeah. You get a lot more time with Nyx, and Nyx is a lot more personality than Batcher does.
Yeah, and I generally feel, well, maybe it's not universally true, but I do feel like oftentimes when you play a game, it's a little bit easier to get attached to something because you're more directly interacting with it than when you're watching something on TV. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Yeah. Final question from Roy then. With this era almost over, how would you rate the Andor team with DC after they go to Legacy? Same strength as Maul Hatefield, or more in line with Seer Malicos? I mean, we've trod on this one a couple of times over the Tribe Talks, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be up there with the DC, but I mean, I think it'll be close to the same strength level. It'll be 6 Omicrons. It's nothing to sniff at. So,
yeah. It is a lot of Omicrons, to be fair.
Maul was kind of the linchpin of the team, though, because Stranger without Maul is a bigger joke. But maybe I'm overvaluing, or not overvaluing. I'm understating the fact that Maul was technically another 3 Omicron character, where Luthen has got 3 Marquis. The Stranger team had, 2 Conquest, a Conquest unit and 2 Legendaries. So maybe it won't perform quite the same height, but I think it'll be up there in power levels, better than Seer Malicos, but maybe not quite as dominant as Stranger.
That's fair. That's fair. It makes sense to me. I'm sure it'll be powerful. I have a really hard time trying to guess this, especially when we don't know what the Datacron's going to be. We haven't seen him with a proper team. It's just really hard to tell. I'm sure he'll be good because he seems quite fun in Colosseum. Troyer Forever says, "Am I the only one who doesn't like the new UI stuff?" I think they look quite cool. The new UI icons.
Yeah, I think they're much better. They're better to defined. You compare them to the old ones. I mean, there might be parts about it that you don't like, but I think it's an improvement. So I'm for it.
That's fair. Vice Torn comes in with, if you could pick a farming location for Darth Vader dual end, where would you put him? Cantina, he says. I mean, it's hard for us to answer. We both have him maxed out.
I would say dark side hard node, because they're going to try to get you to spend.
Yeah, I think they're not going to make it easy, I don't think.
Sorry, I got a fresh bag of dicks delivered.
Only on Tribe Talks will you hear... Excuse me, I've just got a fresh bag of dicks. Got to feed some to my dogs. Jesus. Fresh bag of dicks. Hot off the press.
Bag of dicks.
It's a 40-pack pound of jumbo dicks.
We come in with a 40-pound pack of jumbo dicks. Get them while they're hot.
Well, yeah, my dogs love them, so that's all that matters.
His dogs do love them dicks. It's true. They can't help themselves. They're addicted to the dicks. Totally addicted to dicks. Thank you, Carl. Focus.
You have 2 questions left.
Yes. Yeah, no, I imagine he'll be a hard node, but it would be nice if he was a low cantina node to make it easy for everybody. Rule of 2 says...
They're giving us a month to farm them.
Yeah.
Or some change, so they might make it easy, but they might put a little pressure on you by putting it on a hard node.
Yeah. Rule of 2 says, how many less DCs are you farming now that CG has gone back to the system we hated in the first place?
I'm farming about 10 less than I normally would. Now, granted, I farmed more on this set solely because of the there being no FTCs. I think if there were FTCs, I would have only gone to 15. But I'm only doing about 15 to 20 on a given DC set.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it to do more than that because you're just not going to use them with 3 sets active at the same time. I can have 45 active crons with those 3 sets plus whatever FTCs are present, which let's just say we do get an average of 4 per set. That's another 12, so then you're up at 57 crons, and that's almost like having 60. And even at 60, you were only farming for the sake of slight tweaks to whatever you wanted to use or stat sticks. So with that being the case, I think I'm about half of what I normally farm in the previous set. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I used to get like 30. Back in the old days, it would just be maxed out level 9 crons, and I would be a happy little clam. These days, I might get 15, 16, something like that. I don't have nearly as many, and I'm not tempted to try and get nearly as many either. It's too much work to try and plow in. Also, candidly speaking, I don't think it's even so much that the new system makes it untenable to farm them. I think it's more to do with the fact that they generally speaking, it's not worth having as many level 9s anymore. Like they don't have craploads of really good level 9s.
Yeah, with the power level drop, I think that's the part that people just keep forgetting. It's like, yeah, we have to farm more regularly, but what we need out of the set is basically like 4 crons. Like you need 2 Inquisitor crons, basically 1 for each team, and then there's only like 2 good Rebel crons, Chirrut and Drogon. The Phoenix cron, while good, un problemo. As long as the counters can move before them, they do nothing. It's like, oh my god, look at Satil just take a turn before and wreck the shit out of them. Like there's too many things right now that can get in front of them and cause problems, and so that's kind of you're just not needing to farm as much. I get that with not farming as much though, then of course you don't get the accuracy by volume anymore, and that's I think what people are kind of hating is that they only have the one conquest to farm, so they usually be able to get the right cron over 2 conquests, and they feel like they're missing out without it. And I think that's kind of where the rub is. And I get it, but it'll
be okay.
The one thing CG listens to is their metrics on their data, and if you're not engaging, they'll wonder why, and then we can keep telling them why we don't engage. But I mean, care less about being in Kyber 1, care less about being in Kyber 2. Bam! Who gives a shit what DCs you farm? Don't need them no more.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an element of that, right? So
yeah,
fun in the sun. Yeah, cool. Trodat with the final question of the day. The first era had 6 marquee characters making 6 different teams. This current era has 6 marquee characters making 2 new teams. Which do you prefer? Or does CG have to keep switching between the 2 setups? I found it quite hard to get up all the 6 teams in the first era, actually, especially all the relics, up to a decent level. I like a bit of both, to be honest. I don't mind when we get 1 or 2 teams, and I don't mind when we get a bunch of lifters, because that's still fun.
We need more lifters. So if they want to go back and forth on doing we get 6 teams lifted up and then we get like 2 full teams created, then I don't mind that, because again, I'm a bigger proponent of the older teams need love. We need to keep adding things in that make things fun to play with. You can't keep devaluing your old investments, and then there's always a reason to engage with it. I mean, like you talked in your, I got something in my freaking eye. I'm gonna turn my camera off while I aggressively scratch it and talk at the same time.
Okay.
like you talked in your video today, we had 7,000 mall releases or unlocks,
Yeah.
and then we have 66,000 Cassian.
That's correct, sir.
So it's like a large reason why Cassian's not being engaged with, though, is because people have just decided to skip him. There's just not a reason to go chase 2 more teams in GAC on the high end. And there's just a lot of people, I guarantee you, a lot of people that unlock Cassian are solely doing it for the Lightspeed tokens. They weren't really doing it to unlock Cassian because you can get them at 4 stars, and that's all it takes. And so, your video didn't quite break down the star breakout of the unlocks, which is fine. But that's kind of the where that sits, is that there was not nearly enough reason to engage with Cassian because there was just not as much going on. People did not really want another Rebel fighter team. People don't really care about the ISB faction. So chasing 2 teams that aren't required for anything, aren't needed for anything, don't do anything, no one's going to go after it. It's the same thing that happened with Bad Batch until they retroactively came back and were like, oh yeah, by the way, needed for the raid. And they're the only team that you're going to have that's going to be available before all the Jedi Vanguard and Pirates get released. So
yeah,
you better start with them, even though they suck, unless they're Relic 9. But yeah, that's kind of where that sits, is that we're stuck at this point where there's just not much reason to engage with Cassian unless you just really, really happen to love Rebel fighters. And so I think they need to go back and forth with those errors, trying to lift up existing teams where possible, because people will engage with that more if they can improve an existing team. And a lot of people were really excited to improve Boba Fett, Son of Jango with Asajj. A lot of people were really excited to improve the Wookiees and stuff like that. They're the teams that, are on the verge of being cool, but they just, didn't never do anything. So having this kind of helps move that along.
Yeah, I'd say so. Cool. And that wraps us up. Oh, where's Karth gone? He's gone all... Oh, no, you covered it up, didn't you? Because you got something in your eye.
I covered up, yeah. I'm back.
Yeah. Well, that does cover off all of our questions for the stream today. We managed to... I thought we were doing okay, but we're actually over 2 hours again, so we suck. Sorry, guys, we suck. We spake too much. Yeah, any final words, Karth?
No, because if I have any, I will spend too much time...
This is true. No words for you. Tip your waitresses. That's what Karth wanted to say. And phone your mom. She misses you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody at home for joining us today for Tribe Talks. We'll be live doing GAC tomorrow night after, the last 2 hours of GAC attack phase. So I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday evening. And from Karthrick and myself, good night. Good night.
To lose.